Hello and welcome to your mat. My name is Stacey. I'll be guiding you through this gentle yoga practice today. Option if you have them to have 2 yoga blocks near your mat just in case you need them. It's always helpful to have a strap as well in case it comes along the way. But these are not required props for your practice. We're going to start our practice today in a tabletop position. So you can go ahead and find your way onto your hands and knees, and I'll meet you there on your mat. Begin your practice in a tabletop position. With a long spine, gaze is down at your mat. We'll move through a few cat and cows. Big breath in, lift your tailbone, belly drops, heart comes forward and up. Exhale, round your back like a Halloween cat. Tuck your tailbone as you gaze to the belly. Inhale for cow, lifted tailbone, belly drops, heart comes forward and up. Exhale for cat, rounded spine, hollow out your chest as you look to the belly button. Big breath in. Soft breath out. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more. Follow your own rhythm of breath. Land in a neutral spine. Big toes come to touch, knees go wide apart. Shift your hips back towards the heels, child's pose. Let your forehead rest on something, so maybe that's the floor, maybe it's down onto a block. Fingertips slide away from you, spread wide, pressing firmly into the mat. Lengthen from the top of your head to your tailbone as the hips grow heavy to your heels. Walk your fingertips over to the right, but keep your heels and hips working towards each other, with the hips growing heavier and heavier with each breath out. The fingertips slide to the top right corner of the mat. Option to stack the left hand on top of the right. Let your forehead find its way down onto the mat as the left armpit reaches for the floor as well. Stay heavy through the left hip. Settle into your breath. Walk your hands back through center. Land in your child's pose. Neutralize your spine. Sinking a little bit deeper in the hips each time we come back through center. Walk your fingertips over to the left. Right hip is heavy, right armpit reaching for the mat. Option to stack the right hand on top of the left. Bring your hands back through center. Find your way up through tabletop. Once again, shoulders are over the wrist, hips are over the knees. Option to move through a few more cat and cows here in the center. Otherwise, keep the knees and hips centered. Start to walk the hands over to the right side of your mat, as if you're bringing your right shoulder towards the right hip, but the left hip stays drawn back into the left. From here, we'll move through a few cat and cows. Big breath in, tailbone lifts, belly drops, heart comes forward and up, being ever so gentle on your low back here. Exhale, rounded spine, cat-like pose. Big breath in for cow. Bringing a little bit of a side bend into your cat and cow, but just listening to your body. Looking for any tension in that low back region. If you're having any issues, please come back through center. Never going past the point of sensation. Take 2 more, following your own rhythm of breath. Find your neutral. Walk the hands back through center. Take a little sway from side to side, let that one go. Neutral spine, hips stay centered, knees are centered. Walk the hands over to the left. The left hand may come a little bit off of the mat, that's okay. The heart is facing the floor. Shoulders still over the wrist. Big breath in for cow. Big breath out for cat. Inhale. Exhale. 3 more. No rush to get there. Take your time through your breath. When you finish, find your way to a neutral spine. Hands walk back to center if they're not already there. Big toes come to touch, knees go wide apart. Send your hips back, child's pose. Maybe allowing this one to be a little bit more passive, softening through the arms, relaxing the upper body, surrender to gravity. Find your way up through tabletop. Always the option here to add some cushion beneath your knees, a towel, a blanket, maybe folding up your mat an extra time on the back half. We're going to extend the right leg long behind. The hips are stacked over the left knee. Right toes are tucked onto the mat. Start to reach the right heel towards the floor as if you're trying to step the sole of the foot onto the mat. Creating length of the back of the right leg. You can play with the weight on the big toe mound, the pinky toe mound of the right foot. See where that stretch feels best in your body. Keep pressing the weight of your body into the right heel while grounding down through the right toes. Shift your weight forward, shoulders over wrist. Right leg is still extended long. We're going to slide it over towards the bottom left corner of the mat, crossing it over the left leg. The toes are planted. Pressing firm through the big toe of the right foot. The right leg is still straight. Start to turn your gaze over the left shoulder as if you're looking to the right heel. Keep reaching through the right heel, the big toe mound of the right foot. Bringing a bit of a stretch here into the right side body. Play with the height of the right hip ever so slightly up and down to see where you feel the stretch. As long as you're not shifting the weight on your toes. Back through center. The right leg is still extended long behind you to the left. Just start to bend the right knee a little bit, lowering it onto the mat. So the legs here are still crossed right behind the left. Knees are on the floor. If at any time this does not work for you, just uncross the legs. You can still follow along with the legs side by side. With those legs crossed, start to walk your hands in towards the knees. Bring your hands up onto your hips or onto blocks. Rise up to stand on the knees. Once again, the legs are crossed left in front of right. If that's not working, just bring them side by side. You can widen the distance between your feet. That's going to help a little bit with balance. And just think about squeezing the thighs together. With a big breath in, inhale, reach up overhead. Exhale, hands to heart. Press your palms together, elbows reach to the side walls. Really focus on squaring your hips with the front room. The right hip is going to want to draw back behind you. Can you bring it in line with the left? Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands to heart. One more time, big breath in, reach up. As you exhale, this time the right hand comes onto your hip. Left fingertips are reaching up and over to the right for a side bend. With these legs crossed, you're probably not going to be able to go as deep into your side bend as you normally do. If you have a block, you're welcome to keep the right hand on the block on the floor. Rise back up on the inhale, both hands reach up. Exhale, hands to heart. Full breath here. Let it go. Maybe you pause with your hands on your hips. Maybe you're able to lower the palms directly onto the mat. Returning to the cross-legged tabletop. From here, we're going to extend the right leg long. Slide that right leg all the way over to the right side of the room. Press firm through the sole of the right foot, bringing the pinky toe edge down onto the mat. The inner arch of the right foot is roughly in line with your left knee. Left toes can be tucked or untucked. Walk the hands in towards you. Bring them up onto your hips. Rise up all the way. Creating a diamond shape with your legs here, or rather a triangle. Shoulders are over the hips. Keep pressing through the pinky toe edge of the right foot. Take a big breath in, reach up towards the sky. On an exhale, right hand comes to the right leg, left fingertips are reaching up and over to the right. Once again, draw that left armpit open, keep the heart open to the room in front of you. The left shoulder is going to want to creep towards the floor. Left hip stays stacked above the left knee. Rise back up. Exhale, hands to heart. Adjust your legs however you need if they've started to slide out of alignment. Keeping that left hip stacked over the left knee, shoulders over the hips. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, left hand can come to your hip or all the way down onto the floor or a block. Reach the right fingertips long overhead, extend through the arm. If you have the space, you can also bring your hand to the top of the head and reach through your elbow instead. Turn your heart to face the floor. Right hand comes down to the mat. Walk your hands back through center. So you're landing in a tabletop with your legs in the triangle. Tuck your left toes. Bring some weight into the right palm of your hand. Inhale, left hand reaches up towards the sky. Open your heart to the left side of the room. On an exhale, we're going to thread the left arm through over towards the right foot, towards the right side of the room here. Lower your left shoulder down towards the mat, the top left corner of your head as well. If this is not working, you can always bring the right knee in to meet the left for a tabletop. Thread the needle arms. The right palm can stay resting on the floor. You can start to walk it forward, straightening through the right arm, maybe even walking it a little bit behind you to open your heart up to the sky. Option as well to reach the right hand towards the low back. Maybe you can bring it around the left side of your waist to come in for a bind, taking hold of the left thigh. All these different layers aren't necessarily better or more advanced versions of the posture. Just looking for different layers to work with different bodies and where they are on their mat today. Start to walk the right hand back in front of your face as it finds its way onto the mat. Press firm through the right palm. Inhale, open up, left fingertips to reach for the sky. Exhale, lower your left hand to the mat. Returning into the tabletop with your legs in the triangle, right leg to the right. Left toes are tucked, come up onto the heel of the right foot, sole of the right foot faces the right. We're going to start to sit the hips back towards the left heel. It does not have to touch. If you have a little more room to go deeper, you can always untuck the toes, sitting a little bit deeper, maybe sliding the heart towards the mat. Keep the right toes pointing towards the sky, drawn towards your face with a deep flex in the right ankle. You can stay center, you can start to walk the hands towards the right foot a little bit. Just be really mindful of your low back. We want to feel the stretch into the right thigh, the right inner hip, not in the low back. Back through center. Draw yourself forward, find your tabletop. Slide the right leg in to meet the left. Take a gentle sway of the hips from side to side. Big toes come to touch. Knees go wide apart. Hips go back towards the heels. Find your child's pose. You can be as active or as passive as you like in this child's pose. Maybe pressing down through the fingers. Lengthening through the arms, strengthening them. With the fingertips firmly gripped into the mat, draw the shoulders towards the hips. Lengthen from the tailbone to the top of your head. Rise back up to tabletop. Neutral spine. Left leg reaches long behind you. Tuck your toes, let them land on the mat. We're going to look for that stretch at the back of the calf by pressing your left heel back towards the mat, as if you're trying to stand the foot on it. Keep the hips even with each other. The gaze down at your mat to stay long through your neck. Shift some weight forward, shoulders over wrist. Left leg is still extended long. We're going to slide it all the way over to the right. Left toes are tucked. And start to gaze over the right shoulder towards the left heel. Really pressing firm through the big toe on the left foot. Let your gaze come back through center. Complete the cross of your legs, so lower the left knee down onto the mat. Again, option to uncross the legs, just have your knees side by side if this is not working. We're going to walk our hands in towards the knees first. Rise up onto the lap, maybe onto the hips as you draw your hips forward. Square up your hips so the right hip's going to draw back, the left hip slightly forward. Take a big breath in, reach up. Exhale, hands to heart, shoulders over hips. Keep your low ribs drawn in as you move through these breaths. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands to heart. This time we're going to inhale, reach up. Left hand to the left hip, or down onto a block if you prefer. Reach up with the right fingers and over to the left. Keep breathing. Keep your left hip drawn forward, the right shoulder drawn slightly back. Stay open through the heart. Rise back up all the way. Exhale, hands to heart. Full breath here. Let it go. Allow your hands to find their way onto the mat. Left leg is going to extend long behind you first, and then over to the left. Again, setting yourself up for those triangle-shaped legs. Walking your hands in Maybe onto your thigh, onto blocks, or all the way all up onto your hip. Press firm through the pinky toe edge of the left foot and draw the hips over top of the right knee. Active legs here. The back toes can be tucked or untucked. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands to heart. Big breath, reach up. Exhale, left hand to the left leg. Start to slide the left hand down the leg as you reach up and over to the left with the right fingers. Notice how my right hip stays stacked roughly above the right knee. Squeeze the inner hips towards each other. The outer hips reach out and back behind you. Staying open through the front of your pelvis. Rise back up all the way. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, reach up. Right hand comes down either onto your hip, onto a block, or all the way onto the floor. Left fingertips are reaching up and over to the right, creating a long line of energy from the pinky toe edge of the left foot to the middle finger on the left hand. Shoulders are stacked on top of each other. Your heart is open to the room in front of you. Turn your heart to face the mat. Lower your left fingertips. Start to walk yourself back through center. Tuck your back toes. Begin to sink your hips down towards your heel, coming up onto the heel of the left foot. If you have space to go a little bit deeper, you can untuck the toes, and you don't have to touch the heel to the hip. You can stay just hovering in space. The sole of the left foot is facing the left side of the room, with the toes pointing up to the sky and drawn towards your face. Lengthening from the tip of your tailbone to the top of your head, keep a straight spine here. You can stay center, or you can start to walk your hands a little bit over to the left. Just pausing wherever you start to feel that sensation through the inner left thigh and hip. Keep the left and right hips equal distance from the mat if you're able. Back through center. Rise back up. Slide your left leg, keep your left leg open. One more step to go. Reach the left or right fingertips up towards the sky. Open your heart up. Right arm threads through over to the left. Lowering your right shoulder down onto the mat. Top right corner of your head finds the mat as well. Again, option to bring the left knee in line with the right. And find the arm variation that works best for you. Maybe the left palm stays on the floor here at your face for a little bit of a kickstand. Maybe the fingertips walk forward. Maybe you start to walk the fingers back behind you as you open your heart up to the sky. Keep pressing firm through the left foot. Don't allow it to lift up. Press firm through the entire length of your right arm. An option as well to bring the left arm to the low back. Maybe reaching over your low back, taking hold of the right thigh for a bind. Keep breathing even in these compressed positions. lengthening your inhales and slowing the exhales. Turn the left palm onto the mat in front of your face. Press down to the left palm, reach the right fingertips high. Right hand comes onto the mat. Gaze is neutral. Return to your tabletop pose. A gentle sway of the hips from side to side as if you're trying to dip the right hip to the mat. And then the left, they do not have to touch. Come back through center. Big toes come to touch, knees go wide apart. Shift your hips back. Child's pose. Allow this child's pose to be a little more passive. Soften through the arms, relaxing the upper body, just surrendering to gravity's pull. The forehead is supported with the third eye resting on the mat or on a block. You can take a gentle rock of the forehead from side to side. Massaging your third eye, stimulating the parasympathetic nervous system. A great cue for your body that it is time to relax, to release, and to let go. You're welcome to stay here in your child's pose as long as you choose. When you do feel ready to get up and go, just offer yourself 1 or 2 more breaths. Allow leaving your practice to be a part of your practice. And hold on to a sense of ease that you've cultivated on your mat, a sense of openness with you into the rest of your day, your evening, and your week. With such gratitude as always. Namaste.